Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, Game of 6 of another free visual novel. This one, A No Way Home. A game about being a Gnoll in another world. So basically an isekai? Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io. But as I'm looking at the page right now, it doesn't seem like they have a Patreon. Now I could always be wrong. And also before we start, if you are interested in me playing this game, tell me, and I'll give it a point which will put it up higher on the list. So, what's the synopsis? You awaken in another world, inhabiting a body of one of the realm's most revealed beasts, a savage Gnoll. Before you can even come to grips with your situation, you are thrust into a journey to find your place in this world that fears and rejects your very presence. The path to discovering yourself is a dangerous one, but you won't walk that path alone. The 6-chapter novel explores themes of sex, gender, identity through the purview of big sweaty hyena men. Ooh. It contains adult themes not suitable for people under 18 because of that. So anyways, let's reset my face. It's actually alright, except I'm looking up. And start. Enable, sure, we probably won't get too far into it. I'm such an idiot. It's the first thing that comes to mind when I find myself facing oblivion. I ran into the road and then a truck hit me, because that's how all isekai start, right? It's so empty, so cold. There's just nothing. Forever. Is this what it's always going to be like? Okay, don't give me the Kurzgesagt existential dreads, okay? There really isn't anything that comes after. Well, at least I can hear myself think. Wait, that's not a good thing, is it? Just alone with my thoughts for eternity. Now, this is hell. Please wake up. Oh, thank goodness. You can't do this. The voice pleads tearfully, breaking and trembling. He sounds hoarse from sobbing. I don't recognize him, but he's my only lifeline to this world of the living. Please. I feel like I'm being pulled towards him as he speaks, somewhere far, far away. Compared to this vast emptiness, it feels like a whole other world. You can't leave me. I feel a deep pang of compassion for whoever this is. And I don't want to leave either. I'm not ready to go. But what can I do? I focus with all my might, trying to do something, anything, to show that I'm here. With all the effort I can muster, I manage to pry my eyes open just a sliver. Just enough for a blurry, unfocused glimpse of him. He gasps, eyes shining full of tears, and I feel his grip on me tighten. I lay my eyes on him and feel a deep longing that I can't fully explain. I don't know who he is, but he's so gentle, so tender. I feel him clutching my hand, tell me everything's gonna be okay. I can barely make out what he's saying, but just hearing his voice is soothing. I try to respond to him, but all that comes out is a weak, breathy gasp. Save your strength. Just stay here with me. Please. You'll get better. You will. We'll go back to the village. We'll rest. We'll have soup. I have no idea what he's talking about. Does he know me? This feels wrong. His voice breaks as tears return. It's not fair. I can't help but agree. I want to console him, but... No, wait, I want to tell him not to cry. I don't even know him, but it's obvious how much pain he's in. I want to stay here with him. Why do I feel this way? He's a complete stranger. I can't think straight. My eyes fall shut. I can't keep them open any longer. Darkness reclaims me as I hear his panic shouting. No, You need to stay awake. But I can't respond. I can't stay with him. The world goes quiet. I feel time slip away from me. Damp falls on my body. Damp? A soft warmth caresses me, but then it's gone. Chill sets in, bitter and biting. Pressure around my limbs, around my throat. Dragging. The smell of noxious chemical fumes. Soft muttering. Chanting? It's too much. And then, nothing. You are in a forest, a deep one, hazy and hard to place. Colors, oh, everything's going all weird, or weirder. Colors you've never seen before shimmer through the air. It hurts to look at them. The trees around you bend and sway in ways that don't feel natural. They bow to form archways leading you on your path. You follow the trail, unsure and unsteady, but driven by duty. You have to find him. The clearing you emerge into looks unfamiliar. Your path becomes less certain. Unsettling lights of those same unusual colors flicker and dance in the canopy above, lighting your way in the place of stars? Dense underbrush shifts and crowds around you, making you feel surrounded. Quickening your pace, you feel pricks of pain as dense brambles slice at you in your haste. Aren't brambles the thing that just kind of catch on you and kind of are uncomfortable? Not sure about slice. Unearthly sounds warble through the dense tangle that envelops you. Maybe I'll put the music just a bit louder. It does seem a bit quiet, relatively. Oh, maybe I can't. Not here. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Whatever lives down here can't be friendly. You feel your heart racing in your chest. He could be in danger. A particularly overgrown place of vegetation looms menacingly before you. With your vision blurring, its shape resembles that of a towering beast. Your breath catches in your throat, afraid to make a sound. Pinpricks of illumination from the ghostly lights above shine through it. Or are those eyes? It shifts and turns as you approach. Or was it always facing that way? You can't tell. The howling wind passes through. The trees shake like the rattle of bones. It's not safe here. You run. But not far. The undergrowth trips you up. It feels as if it lashes out and snares your feet, bringing you low so you can't escape. You feel the wind knocked from your lungs as you land hard. Something wrapped around you, preventing you from reclaiming any air. Oh, God. Looking up, you're met with dozens of eyes sprouting from the thick, tangled brush that coats the ground. They stare at you, unblinking. They know you're not meant to be here. You're too slow, too stupid. They've just been waiting for you to fall. You feel the roots that surround you tug you slowly down to the earth. They suffocate you, wiggling the air, wringing the air from your lungs, and the life from your body. The more you struggle, the tighter they bind you. As they close it above, you just see sorry. I don't know what. I mean, I guess I did do exercises today, and it is a visual novel. I just yawn at visual novels for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm spending more time talking instead of breathing. It do be like that sometimes. Anyways, see you in this grisly casket of vegetation. The last thing you see before they fully black out the light of your eyes staring down at you. I bolt awake, launching myself upright in a cold sweat and gasp for air. I'm alive? Probably. Okay, that's a start. I tried. Oh, this looks like a certain hyena's room. I was, I know this hyena, and, when I was looking at the synopsis of this game, I was like, wait, darn did this. He's the yeen that yeened. Anyways, I try to get my breathing under control. That nightmare was really intense. Looking around, I strain my eyes to get a good measure of my surroundings. It seems like some kind of hut. From the sounds of the birdsong outside, it's out of the wilderness. Wait, it's out in the wilderness, maybe? Rough, unfinished walls and thatched roof above, and all manners of simple tools and containers scattered about. Light streams in from behind the curtain opening, illuminating some kind of kitchen or workshop along the far wall. Breathing in, I feel the harsh sting of chemical fumes in my lungs. But it feels like I've been suffused in it for quite a while already. It must have been here for how long? Oh, it's another yeen. But as beady eyes scan across the room, bleary, I'm startled when I notice a figure slowly creeping up from the shadows. That's not slowly. The figure scampers closer with frightening haste. Also, when I was looking at, the game and this stuff, these guys do kind of look like that meme where it's like furry Pixar archetypes where it's like, here's the girl furry and it has a very small face, and then you have the boy furry or wolf and something like that, and he's got a big nose and a big muzzle. Now, so let's check our face, just cause. Because reasons. The greasy-looking beast eyes me curiously as I gasp and scoot back against the wall behind me. His proximity brings with it a potent musk, ooh-woo, that stings my eyes, the scent of unwashed animal mixed with a strange herbal aromas. He wheezes out a raspy noise before speaking in a scratchy old voice that makes my skin crawl. It rises. My eyes widen as I realize this creature is actually addressing me. And I can understand it. Tell me your name, lad. His tone is friendly, or as close as it can be, as he can manage given how terrifying his voice is. I can read. But should I really trust him so readily? I'm not sure what to tell him. Default? It's no good. I have to say something. My name is Yeen. Yeen Bean. I'm Yeen Bean. The creature's ears fall as he frowns at my response. At the same time, I hear shuffling behind him, one of the curtains dimming light from the building's entryway is pushed aside. There he stands, looking at me with a fearsome glower that makes my stomach drop. The old beast, crowding me, returns to greet him with a welcoming smile. Ah, there you are, lad. Did you get the... He's silenced by a withering glance and palpable tension. Oh, be nice to the old yeen, even though he's smelly. Smells like a yeen. The younger beast strides past his elder to approach me. It's him, the one I dreamed of, but he looks so cold and distant now, like the light has gone out in his eyes. All that remains is a smoldering bareness that flickers into disgust as he looks at me. I am so wrapped up in sudden his expression that I don't notice what he's doing until his hands are around my throat. I reflexively reach up to stop him, but after hearing a brief snap behind me, my hands go limp. I slump back down, unable to move my body. No matter how much I try, I gasp and stammer in shock, my voice deeper than I expect. What? Left helpless before these beasts, I feel myself starting to panic. As I gasp for air, I realize I can still move my head at least. What did you do? The small beast scrunches up his nose in disgust as they plead for information. He reaches for a strange leather cord that's strapped around his waist and tugs at it to ensure it's secured tightly. The older beast finally returns to my side, looking down over me. A demon collar, lad? Do you really think? Of course I do, Opa. It can't be trusted. You know that. The vitriol in his bark momentarily makes me relieved that he isn't focused on me for the moment. Though now I feel bad for the old ragged beast he's shouting down. He's gone, Opa. That thing killed him, and now it's puppeteering him around like a parasite. We don't know that, Tav. Not for sure. Tav and Opa, so they have names. And they talking about me? Wait, are they talking about me? I managed to crane my neck downward, unable to move a single muscle beneath it. What I see down below is difficult to swallow. My entire body is covered in thick, shaggy fur, ruddy shades of brown that drift into lighter, creamier blend towards my underbelly, where a simple and tattered loincloth covers my nethers. Thick and powerful muscles adorn my arms and legs. They give way to rather large paws, each complete with a full set of dark, leathery paw pads. The toned physique continues across my chest. Those bulging pectorals look at odds with the rather sizable hairy gut further down my abdomen. Jaw agape at its form, I realize my face must look similarly hairy and savage. It's strange that, with such a powerful bestial body, I still feel so weak and helpless right now. Try as I might, I can't move anything below my neck. Is this the work of that collar they mentioned? Please, I don't understand. They both turn to look at me, Tav wincing at the sound of my voice. Rest now, lad. Tav shoots the large Gnoll a smoldering glare before Opa turns to address him. He's no dangerous to us now, lad. Let him get his bearings. The boy looks back at me, appraising the fear in my eyes, before grumbling and reaching to loosen the cord around his waist slightly. As he does, I feel command of my body slowly return to me. I gasp and reach for my throat, confirming the collar's presence. But as I do, my stomach drops, and I get the distant feeling that messing with it isn't going to end well. Getting up and ready, I want to make it back before dusk. Also, I'm just gonna... Sorry. Maybe it's the beginning part, but let's see if we can change the audio just a bit. Boop. Settings. I guess it was in the beginning that it sounded a bit like that. And let's go even more. Too much. About there should be good. Hyena, hyena. Oh, because yeens. The younger beast departs with a huff, leaving the tumultuous silence in his wake. The older beast sighs as he watches Tav depart before returning his gaze back to me. Sorry about that, Yeen Bean. Was it? Yeah. He perks up noticeably at my reply. I'm still not sure how much I can trust him, but he seems to be forthcoming at least. There's a million questions I want answered, and I stumble over them, trying to get one out. Where am I? And why am I? I point down and gesture myself, hoping that gets the message across. Bah! I swear I can read. Granted, I have the reading ability of some yeens. Uwu. Upa looks me over, sighing to himself. You're safe now, lad. But you're not you anymore. That isn't a very helpful explanation. I grow a little frustrated as I try to push for a more digestible answer. Then, what exactly am I? The old beast shrugs. Demon. That word makes my heart sink into my stomach. Demon? What do you mean? His gaze grows distant as he fails to answer. Hungry. The old beast turns away from me, hobbling over to the workshop-looking area on the far side of the hut. Should feed you. He mutters to himself, something like he's lost in a daze. I still have questions, even more now in fact, but I don't know how much I'm going to get out of him. I might as well try to get up, now that I can. Climbing to my feet, I find myself a bit unbalanced as my heavy gut flops down and jostles before me. His body is weighed a bit differently than I anticipated. I take a few unsteady steps. My feet feel like they bend backwards at first, but my body seems to remember how it's supposed to walk on its own, as long as I'm not thinking about it too hard. I mean, yeah, I can't think of it. So, there are some games where it's like reincarnated in a different world or something like that, where it's like, hey, there's a different body maybe. But yeah, I guess if you were like, let's just say human, then you came here, you would start walking like maybe a toddler or something. I feel the added weight behind me, and look over my shoulder to see a shaggy tail emerging and curling up to support the loincloth tied around my waist. Boil and 3 shakes. I turn my attention back to the old beast muttering to himself. I approach slowly, peering over at what he's doing. He's slowly stirring out a pot of ominously opaque soup, humming to himself in a grumbly tone. I feel the fur prickle on the back of my neck. What are you making there? The inquiry seems to snap him back to attention, and he gazes down to survey his handiwork. Meal. He acquires a rough-looking pseudo-spoon and ladles of some sort of thick, greenish paste into an empty bowl before returning and offering it to me. No, I'm not. A loud grumble interrupts me, my stomach protesting as I get a whiff of the stuff. Through the thick fog of strange herbs, it still hangs heavy in its place. My nose manages to single out this as something edible at the very least. And I imagine it's been a while since I've eaten anything. I look up at his expectant expression, and it's hard to refuse. Tenuously, I take the bowl and the implement that's now stuck fast in the offered soup. This is not going in me. I can see him squinting as he tries to survey my reaction, so I decide to take a gamble on his poor eyesight. Pretending to scarf down the meal, I end up making overwrought lip-smacking and swallowing sounds to sell how much I'm enjoying it, like I'm entertaining a child at a tea party. I mean, you should at least try it, you know? He seems pleased by this, relieved in fact. I can see the tension melt away in the old beast when the old beast lets his shoulders drop down a bit. Sorry, I swear I can read. Not well, but I try. I read at a 2nd grade level. I try and refocus the old timer now that I've been fed, discreetly discarding the bowl nearby. Already, I feel my stomach growling, resentful at such a waste. Thank you. Very kind of you to feed a demon? He gives me a soft, wheezy chuckle as he responds. Demons are people too. At least I think so. I pause to consider how to gently pry some answers free without showing my hand. I don't know a damn thing about this place, these people, or anything really. But just coming out and saying that that would be suspicious, right? Let's try and cover the basics at least. And if I'm a demon, then you guys are Gnolls. I don't suppose you have many where you come from. His tone becomes more cheerful as I keep up this line of questioning. Where is it that you think I'm from exactly? Hell, of course. Right, of course. And what do you know of hell? It's a realm mired in sin and cruelty, burning away while its people toil in endless misery. Well, that sounds about right. So, how did I get here? He tilts his head, pausing in a moment of confusion. Wasn't that your doing? You possessed young Gash here. Gash? That's a hell of a name. I didn't intend to. Is that so? Well, it's not unheard of. Oh? So, there are many others like me out there. Used to happen more often, but nowadays the Empire puts demons to the stake as soon as they hear the word of them. Sends them back to hell where they came from. Not what I want to hear right now. Isn't that a bit severe? I'd say so, aye, but frightened people take drastic measures. Am I really so scary? He looks me over, chuckling heartily. Not as you are now. But without a collar, you might end up like the others. The callous disregard for life, the unspeaking power they wield, the wanton destruction they sow, they treat our world like a game. At least, that's what the Empire says. I cringe as I imagine the sorts of demons that end up getting sent here. I'm nothing like that, I assure you. And the collar assures that. I rub at the collar as he mentions it, and I get that prickly feeling of doom again when I consider trying to rip it off. What does it do exactly? Keeps you from lashing out. Even considering hypothetically raising a fist makes me feel a bit woozy, like that strange paralysis I suffered will come flooding back if I try. This is a lot to take in. Aye, lad, it must be rough. Before I realize it, his paw is on my shoulder. It's more comforting than I expected. I can feel his warmth, and it unravels a bit of tension that's been building within me. I take a deep breath, trying to get my head straight, and that's when I notice his smell again. Breathing in through my nose gives me a powerful dose of him. And it's not so overwhelming this time, now that I'm a bit more used to it. Close my eyes and focus on phrasing it. It's like unraveling individual threads of aroma from a big ball of funk. Uwu? There's a strong, earthy smell at its core, clearly his natural musk, but surrounding it are some familiar strands of herbal aromas. Lavender, rosemary, vanilla, mint, sage, and quite a few more I don't recognize. Is vanilla, herb? And beyond that, I can smell how they're layered and the patterns they weave. I don't really have the language to describe it. It all combines together to form a complex textured, distinct smell. I almost feel like I could pick it out of a crowd if I focused on it. I guess that's going to be put into the game. When I open my eyes again, I see the old Gnoll, much closer now, leaning up to sniff the broad snout. Sniff the broad snout of his at my neck? It's only now I realize how much smaller than me he is. Standing at least 2 heads shorter, he looked so big when I first woke up. But more importantly, he's just brazenly sniffing me. I pull away, feeling myself blush, but I hope I've got enough fur to hide it. He chuckles softly, sighing to himself before he speaks up. I expected brimstone. I realize he must have a pretty sensitive nose as well then. It must be a Null thing. Instead, you just smell like him, but different. That's not very descriptive, but I suppose I'd be hard-pressed to screw second secondly describe Opa's particular smell. Our moment is interrupted by a dramatic clearing of the throat from outside. You'd best not keep him waiting, lad. I take a deep breath and prepare myself. Hopefully, he's had enough time to cool down a bit. Rip, rip. The cool, shaded confines of Opa's hut give way to hot, humid air outside. Okay, kill me now. I would die in hot, humid weather, especially if I was covered in fur and, a bit chubby. That sounds like hell. Hey, hell. The surrounding greenery is dense and wicked looking. Most of the plant life looks close to something I'd recognize, but just different enough to leave me feeling a bit disoriented. Tav leans against the side of the hut. I realize now he was probably close enough to hear our entire conversation. He does look like he's calmed down a bit, but seeing me puts him right back in that foul mood. It hurts to see him like this, after he was so gentle in my dream. Wait, was that even a dream? What are you gawking at? My heart catches my throat. I'm pretty sure anything I say would just upset him more, but leaving him hanging doesn't feel right either. I'm sorry. He seems legitimately surprised by the apology, but quickly tries to hide it after his initial reaction. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it seems like I'm to blame for this, so you're damn right you are. I found myself growling a bit in frustration. Look, I don't know what happened, but I want to help. He takes a step forward and thrusts a finger up towards me. He's even smaller than Opa, barely more than half my size. I know what you're up to, demon. Your tricks won't work on me. I'm speechless. You're going to do everything I say until we fix this. And how do we do that? By getting Gash back and send you back to hell where you belong. That stings, but I can't really argue. If me just being here is displeasing someone else, maybe that's for the best. Wait, if me just being here is displacing someone else, maybe that's for the best? I don't understand that. Okay, yeah, I owe you that much. He squints at me, as if trying to scan for signs of deception. Just take it easy, okay? I hate seeing you this way. How dare... Tav and I both pivot in time to see Opa emerge to join us. Well, I'm gonna actually have to censor that. I was like, oh, we're not gonna be far enough in it for NSFW stuff. It do be like that. Sometimes. Something's missing. Shall we then? All of Tav's conversation melts away as he's left stammering and averting his gaze from Geezer's junk. I hate being like this where I'm like, I'm trying to read, but I suck at it. Also, damn. You just horny for everybody. I mean, granted, it's like 2 people. I mean, I don't know. I thought he would, be interested in the main character. Opa, your clothes. I can't help but stare, dumbfounded. Oh! It's plenty toasty out today. No need to bundle up. Judging from Tav's reaction, he seems accustomed to a bit more modesty than this. But you were just dressed. Opa waves his paw dismissively. Boy, you've spent too much time in the Empire. But if you insist, I'll bring the old rags along for the journey. Tav cautiously turns back around, trying not to gaze at the geriatric Null's gonards. What do you mean? We'll be going with you, lad. Me and the boy have been meaning to make a trip to town anyway. Speaking of which, the old Gnoll at Null looks around, squinting again as he struggles to make out his surroundings. Where is he? He went to dump his gate after we got out of the wormwood? He went to dump his gate after we got out of the wormwood. I don't understand that. At this, I have no idea what they're talking about. It do be like that. Could you be a deer and fetch him for me then? You know how prone he is to distraction. Tav groans, then takes a deep breath, looking between the two of us, before at least relenting. Fine, and then straight to the village. Be ready when we get back. He sets off in a huff again, starting to make a bit of a habit of it. I turn to look at Opa in concern, noting the smirk on his face as he catches my gaze, wandering. But soon I feel that prickling on my neck again, getting more intense the further away Tav gets from me. Hurriedly, I hustle to catch up with him, nearly stumble as I struggle with these big, dumb paws. The sensation fades as I get closer. Also, I should probably just make sure I just do a double check on that so I don't have to worry about accidentally forgetting about yeen cock. The leather strap on his waist he was messing with earlier. Must be the leash to my collar. Looking it over, I can figure he could probably give me some more slack if he unwound it a bit more. But I don't think asking that would go over too well right now. Scene change, or yeen change. Heading into the forest, we travel in silence for a time. Now that I actually have some time to think, my mind wanders to thoughts of escape. Can I really shake him? Getting too far from the leash seems to activate my collar, and trying to remove myself or forcing him would probably drop me too. I could try diplomacy or deception, but that's what he's already anticipating. He's so convinced I'm some sort of demonic trickster that I'll go on a rampage the second I'm off the leash. Also, I'm not sure if you getting out of this body would send you to hell or some other place, maybe home, but, you know, one would think that these people would be the best choice of how to get you out, at least that we know of. The Empire was like, burn them, so keep with the Gnolls. I'd probably just... well, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know anything about this place. I don't have anyone or anywhere I can go. I'm on my own, really. Same as him now. My thoughts keep circling back to that point. He's alone because he lost somebody important, and I'm the cause of that. Should I really even been thinking about escape? Shouldn't I be trying to make things right? Yes. If we can get the other guy back, then I don't know what would happen to me. Apparently, my anxious thoughts have been manifesting as audible whining. I don't realize this until I spot his ears swiveling back towards me, accompanied by a soft, agitated growl. I steel myself to try and stay silent. Hopefully, some peace and quiet will improve his mood. Then, I can probe for more information when he's not so grouchy. After a minute, I'm feeling a good bit better myself out here in the fresh air. This forest just smells so lively. Way better than being cooped up in Opa's shack. I do my best to survey the sights and sounds of the deep greenery, trying to build a mental map of the place. But there's just too much to take in. I'd get lost on my own for sure. Hopefully Tav knows where we're going. As we pass a tranquil stream, I chance a glance across the other side, noticing that rich, verdant greens of the forest begin to fade into strange violet hues. For a moment, I think I can see something move over there. As I squint to get a better look, a strange tightness builds in my chest. This feels familiar. It feels wrong. That color, Could it be that place? The fur stands up on the back of my neck, and I feel that tightness escalate into a palpable sensation of dread. A sharp whistle draws my attention back to the trail, and I realize I'm nearly out of leash range. I steal one last look back across the stream. There's nothing there, but that ominous feeling remains. I shake my head to clear it, hustling to catch back up. Things are significantly more normal back on this side of the stream. I see glimpses of small critters in the bushes and trees now and then. They look familiar enough at least. Then I make an effort to breathe through my nose. An absolute cavalcade of rich scents overtakes me. Every plant, every animal, even the paths and streams, they all smell unique. I feel familiarity with some of them, my brain dredging up simple associations like tasty, yucky, danger, or fun for some. It's like I'm digging into this body scent memory. The most familiar smell of all, though, is his. I take a deep whiff when the breeze casts me downwind of him, better understanding the nuances of the fragrance I'd smelled before. This stuff looks familiar right here, but I'm not sure what. Like a Windows background? I can almost feel his name on my lips when I smell him. It makes me excited, like a pet reunited with its handler after long absence. It's hard to describe, but he smells much fresher than Opa. Maybe that's a factor of age, or maybe he actually bathes. Whereas the older Gnoll scent was layered with fermenting herbs, Tav's feels close to nature. I can smell the wind upon him, the gentle breeze after it rains. A little bit of fruit, I think, and a hint of flowers. It's comforting. I nearly run him over without realizing he stopped, but catch myself just in time. He's looking up at a tree whose branch is hanging over us, scrutinizing the cluster of fruits upon it. I can already smell how delicious they are, so without even thinking, I reach up to grasp an overhanging branch to bring it lower. When I look back, he's withdrawn a leather-bound journal from somewhere and appears to be taking notes. Index claw, coated in ink and moving with impressive precision. So, they do grow on this side. He plucks one of the strange, crimson pear-shaped fruits from the lowered branch, studies the shape briefly, and produces a rough sketch of it in his journal. I grab one as well before releasing the branch. Do you catalog plants? Not just plants, everything I can, really. They had countless books like this back in the Empire. The wealthy even had entire rooms for storing and reading them. But the Gnolls out here do not have that luxury. They pass everything by maw, so it's easy for knowledge to get lost or broken over time. He seems to get frustrated with his sketch, scribbling over it and clapping the journal shut to put it away. I guess I really shouldn't bother. It's not like this is going to help anyone. That dejected look of his compels me to find a way to distract him from such dour thoughts. So, these are safe to eat then? My nose is telling me yes, absolutely. That's what are you waiting for? But I want to make sure, just in case. Of course, everything's safe for a Null. I find myself already biting into a surprisingly tender morsel before I can respond, savoring the intense flavors. Very acidic, with a good mix of sweet and bitter. What do you mean? Gnolls can eat anything, anything. You really don't know this stuff? I try to take offense to that, but I know I must look pretty dumb right now, with how greedily I'm gulping down this delicious fruit, feeling the juices drooling down my muzzle. Ooh. Like, anything? He rolls his eyes and starts walking again as he explains further. I reach up to hurriedly gather up an armful of bonus fruits for the road before he gets out of range. Anything we swallow, yeah, ooh, it's our gifts, or whatever. So does that include rocks? Like, I'm sorry, but it's like, he said anything. Hard to starve that way. Can't get sick from most things either. I hurry up after him, dripping my muzzle down to munch on an armful of fruits I cradle as I digest this information. Oh, dipping my muzzle down. That sounds like quite a gift. I guess, but even that gets turned against us. Trash eaters, scavs, bottom feeders, people can be pretty cruel. He sounds particularly hurt by those words as he repeats them, looking as if he's dredging up some painful memories. Well, sounds to me like they're jealous. Tav shrugs, trying to let it go. Whatever, they don't matter anymore. We got out of the city to get away from all that. We? Me and Gash. I bite my lip, realizing I've wandered back into uncomfortable territory for him. Why did things have to turn out like this? This isn't what I wanted. I hate this awkward silence. Maybe it'd be better to lean into this rather than tiptoe around it. Hey, we'll get him back, alright? He takes a deep breath before responding, sounding worn down. Just stop it, okay? I know you don't actually care. You don't need to pretend, for my sake. His words sting, but maybe he has a point. Even though I feel responsible for what happened to Gash, Tav is the one I'm more worried about. Maybe it's just because he's the one right in front of me. It's harder to feel for someone I've never met. Man, why am I even devoting so much energy to try and make him feel better, anyway? It'd be a stretch to expect him to be thankful, given the state of things, but he could at least be civil. He probably hasn't even stopped to think about things from my perspective. I didn't ask for this to happen, and if we do manage to get Nash back, then that means A thought drops my heart in my stomach, so I shake my head and try to change the subject. So, who's this boy we're looking for anyway? Opus kid. Ah, little guy out exploring his town, or on his own. Sorry. If I felt worse about this earlier, I would have probably tried to restart and do it later, but it's like, flip. I hate not being able to read sometimes, or not being as good at reading anyways. Read every word, gamer. He's grown, almost as old as us, helping me drag you back to Oba's after you arrived. I looked down at the smaller Null. Yeah, Tav definitely wouldn't have been able to pull that off on his own. I feel my ears stand up, alerted by a low rumble that passes around the ground, or through the ground. Speaking of, that's probably him. Tav leads us off the beaten path into the tree line, and I struggle to keep up with him. Hey, slow down a sec. Either he doesn't hear me, or is messing with me on purpose, as he forges on ahead anyway. His lithe little body is able to weave through the greenery at a pace I struggle to match. I arrive out of breath and sputtering as I shoo away the remnants of vegetation that cling to me when I finally catch up to the smaller Gnoll. He stands in a small clearing near a stagnant pond, burrow furrowed? I don't know. As he gazes at the tangled mass of plant debris accumulated in what appears to be a natural deadfall ahead. What's a natural deadfall? Why is he here? Before I have enough time to catch my breath and ask what he means, I'm startled by the sight of a canteen flying through the air. Several wooden bowls and shredded sackcloth bags soon follow it, being tossed haphazardly by whatever currently occupies the dim hollow beneath the deadfall. Oh, is it like when a tree tips over? Let me just actually look that up. Deadfall. It's probably gonna bring up a name or a movie. Yeah, it's a movie. Define. A trap consisting of heavy weights positioned to fall on an animal. A tangled mass of fallen trees and brush. Huh. Okay. You learn something new every day. Tav marches towards it, raising his voice. Hey, drop it. Leave it. He sounds like he's lecturing a misbehaving animal. I force myself to follow after. My deep breaths to regain my stamina soon confront me with an incredibly powerful scent. It's something I've been picking up hints of on the way here, but now I recognize it's most certainly another Null. Presumably, it's Opus kid. Now, I wonder if Tav's been following the scent to guide us here. I hear some back and forth between Tav and another, deeper voice, as I spot the frame of a large Gnoll standing over him, cast in the shadows of the deadfall. Tav seems to have pushed him aside, leaving him to watch as Tav starts struggling to repackage the cachet of wicker baskets stashed there. I take a few deep breaths to let that new smell wash over me. The scents seem to be less distracting once I fully possess them. Process. That's probably why I haven't really noticed my own scent much, save for a few stray vapors when I reach my arms up to grab those fruits earlier. Closing my eyes to focus, it definitely smells like another Gnoll, but this one has such a powerful core musk that the other scents clinging to it can do little to disguise it. The potent, earthy aroma almost feels like I'm choking on mud, but there are strange notes to it that I find titillating. Salt and sweat layer on top to render it sharp and ripe. I get the feeling anyone can smell this guy coming, not just other Gnolls. I open my eyes when I hear the large Gnoll responding to Tav in a tone that carries much the same gravel that Opus did, but in a younger, greasy timbre. Guessing some critters got added while we're gone. I was just gonna bring the good bits back for you. They're all good bits. The big guy scratches his head and idly turns, ears lifting in intrigue as he spots me. Holy shit, he's up. What? No, that's the demon. Tav reaches out to stomp the bigger Gnoll that's marching eagerly towards me, but gets his arm tangled in the straps attached to one of the baskets and ends up buried beneath the contents overturned and spill out over him. He's a big guy. As he steps out into the sunlight, I get a better look at the Gnoll, and I'm a bit surprised by what I see. That voice definitely sounds masculine, and the shaggy, bearded face seems to match it. But the shape of that body, through the heavy set with a bit of added weight and muscle, is undoubtedly stacked in another direction. And as the golden-furred Gnoll approaches, I can confirm with confidence that he's the source of the powerful smell. Demon, huh? Always one to scrap with one. I shake my head and try to focus, raise my paws out and up to signal I don't want to fight. He lets out a gleeful cackle and doubles his approach, reaching me faster than I'd expect given his hefty gait, and meeting my paws with his own, interlocking fingers to initiate a grapple. But before I can offer any resistance, I feel the clutch of that stamped collar snap the life from me again, leaving me to crumple forwards at his feet from the momentary clash, face down in the mud. Did I break it? Tav manages to free himself from beneath the toppled baggage to come to my rescue. He's got a demon collar on. He can't hurt anyone. The big galoot looks mortified. Not even for fun? Tab sighs and unwinds his cord a bit to give me some slack. As I sputter and gasp for air, pushing myself up onto my hands and knees, Tab groans and retreats to the deadfall again. Get him washed up. I can handle the damn luggage. Once I've wiped the mud out of my eyes, I can see the bigger Gnoll squatting down, extending a paw to help me up. I grunt and take it. Though, as I do, I worry that he's just going to take advantage of the grip to paralyze me again. He doesn't, though. He helps me up to my feet and gets me steady, leaning in to sniff at me before introducing himself. I'm Stinky. You sure are. I'm not sure if that's his name or a statement on his personal hygiene. Honestly, it seems like both. Hi? I hesitate, thrown off by the strange introduction and his continued invasion of my personal space. It takes me a moment to register. I should offer my name in return. I'm Yeen. Are you about done? He holds his wandering sniffer to look at me, smiling as he realizes what I'm talking about. At the same time, I spot Tab's ears perk up in reaction to my name, causing him to turn and take a long, hard squint at me before returning to his work, with a dismissive head shake. Oh, hey, sorry. Just never smelled a demon before. I'd expected... Brimstone? Yeah, I get that a lot. At least twice. Yep, let's get you washed then. At least a little. He guides me, expectantly whipped by a paw, over to a small pond nearby. Looking up his arm, I can see he's got a good mix of muscle and fat on his frame. He's almost as big as me, even though still a good head shorter overall. Huh. So I'm the biggest of yeens? Not the darnest of yeens. I kneel at the edge of the pond as he takes the opportunity to look me over from a few different angles. No horns. Barbed tail? Big old bat wings? Dang, guess the stories were full of shit. I sigh and lean forward to dunk my head into the water and scrub a bit, pause reflexively pulling back to comb through the thick, shaggy mane. As I come back up, I pause when I notice my reflection for the first time, carefully studying my own appearance. A Null looking back at me has a kind of dumb face, to be honest. If he were part of a bigger group, I expect him to be the big goofy one that ends up the butt of their jokes. A paws reach up to feel my face, as if to verify it's real. The nostrils flare a bit as I think about the big black nose in its center. My fingers run through the shaggy, unkempt fur on the jawline, then it trails back into my mane. Overall, I'd say Nash was pretty handsome in a lovable oaf kind of way. Honestly, he might even be my type. Can you be your own type? I mean, I guess so. Wait. I mean, people are into fogies. But those timid, anxious eyes don't fit him. Those are mine. While they might lend a bit of puppy-like innocence, my uncertainty makes them tremble with weakness. I bet others can tell from my gaze alone that I'm not him. I'm roused from my fixation by a footpaw poking at my ribs. Yeah, I think with us being at Demon Dick, huh? All barbed and veiny? And doobie like that. I think at this point right here, it's a good time to call it. Because we're at the 50-minute mark, or hour mark. So, end of this Let's Play. Well, with this thing right here that looks very, I don't know, Aussie. Because we are in a place that was all greeny, and now it looks very Aussie land, or Australia? Arizona. And also looking at some of these images here, it's very dusting and stuff. Also, actually, yeah. But let's see, what's going to be the next thing? Also, what was this message here? Oops. Okay, random number generator. Sorry. Of course my family would do that. So, next Let's Play will be, let's see, 19, 18, 17. We'll be gonna close this. Boop. Turn this off. And it's number 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great Troubles. Oh, it's the one with the femboy cat that I saw in FA, and then somebody was like, hey, you should do this. Boop. Katsu. Oh. Yes, be text slow. So, yeah, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. If you want me to play the previous game, tell me, and I'll give it a point, which will put higher on the list, which will mean we might do it sooner. I don't know, there's a lot of visual novels to get through. And if you want to play the game, it's free on the channel. So, yeah, please comment, guys. Like, comment, something to like, dislike, tips, or otherwise. If you like me, YouTube, and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and share the videos have grown. Please remember spay near your Amazon up, control the pit population. Of course, right now is when my family's like, hey, we're gonna be going soon. It's like, heck. But at least it happened just now, and not, you know, right in the middle of my Let's Play. Or a quick look. Anyways, until next time, Let's Play. Quick look. Me, Game will 6 in some other game. That being this one. So thanks and see ya.